Earlier this hour, Governor of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker, vowed to fight in court if Trump moves forward with deploying troops in the city of Chicago. And with us now is Kwame Raoul, who's the State Attorney General in Illinois, and would likely lead that effort. Is that right? Would that be the plan? If the president says, all right, I'm going to send the troops into Chicago, your response would be what?
Well, yeah, depending on what he's sending in troops to Chicago for and under what authority he suggests to be doing it, we would likely challenge it, because more than likely it would be unlawful, as it was in California. You know, the militia clause of our Constitution gives Congress the power to determine how the National Guard is federalized, and
right.
Congress passed the Posse Comitatus Act to set out the framework for that. We don't have a foreign invasion, we don't have a rebellion, and there's not an inability to put in effect federal law. So none of those prerequisites exist in the city of Chicago.
I want to talk through a few of those, if I can, with you, sir. First, I mentioned the governor's comments earlier this hour, right off the top. Let me play a clip from that. Here's what Governor Pritzker just said.
Part of their kind of nefarious plan is begin with ICE, cause mayhem on the ground, and by doing that, say that there's a need for military troops on the ground to protect ICE. And so that's why I've talked a lot about, for the people who are going to protest, they've got to protest peacefully, not give them any reason to call in National Guard.
All right, again, that was just moments ago. You mentioned a few of these options the president might use already. I want to talk it through with you, if I can, and what the legal back and forth would be. Here's one. Insurrection Act of 1807. We'll put it up on the screen. I mean, historically, broad discretion given to a president in deploying federal troops. What if Trump were to use that? You know, through the years, Selma, Detroit riots, unrest after Dr. King, L.A. riots, it's been used. If that was the play, what would the response be?
We would challenge it. I'm staring out the window right now in Chicago. There are no riots going on. There's peace. The fact that there is a demonstration does not call for the deployment of the National Guard. And usually in those circumstances where things rise to being out of control, it's done in collaboration with a state's governor. In this case, we don't have a situation where the governor is seeking the help of the National Guard, because it's not needed. Mm-hmm. The president has proclaimed that he wants to send in the National Guard to deal with everyday crime. You know, the 10th Amendment preserves the sovereignty of our states, including within its doctrine, the ability for states to be charged with maintaining the peace within their state.
So what if, you mentioned this earlier about like insurrection or rebellion. So say the federal government lawyers came and said, well, the murder rate, for example, or they used other metrics in Chicago, this is a rebellion in our view. That's what we're arguing. So we need to do something about it. Would you use like specific metrics to push back on something like that?
I would say, I was just looking at a report earlier today that says our summer murder rate is the lowest it's been since 1965. The violent crime rate is substantially it's the lowest it's been in decades. And the important thing to note here is that's in part attributable to local law enforcement, but it's also attributable to federal law enforcement, which my office has collaborated with. So if the president were really committed to fighting crime in cities, instead of suggesting to defund agencies like the ATF, that we have had tremendous partnerships in dealing with gun trafficking and gun crimes with, he would fully fund those agencies and work on collaboration with local law enforcement and federal law enforcement. We collaborate with the FBI, DEA, ATF, other federal law enforcement agencies. I'm not against federal resources coming to Chicago to fight crime, but let's do it in a collaborative way that we have done it, and we've reduced crime with it.
Okay, all of this for now, hypothetical. I hope you come back if it goes beyond that. The State AG in Illinois, Kwame Raoul. Thank you, sir, for coming on today. Now, President's showing.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.